फौजी तो कॉर्पोरेट में सफल नहीं हो सकते.
क्यों? Aren't they disciplined and
हाँ मतलब वो सुनते नहीं हैं and all that and I don't know what that there is this brand image again as I said ना मेरा तो वो receiving antenna ही बंद है, so I keep listening, I never register, so but I had a lot of people telling me this. Women, I think हम लोग ना we have a knack of looking out for a outside affirmation or a of our who we are or our strength. So I did not have it. I did not ever go to people to say how good I am or how bad I am. Nobody told me. Everybody told me how bad I am. I never went to people. I never gave them a chance to say, tell me what is good about me. So that internal identification of a leadership quality in yourself is something I had right from the beginning. The hilarious thing there was that we were the first batch. Only we knew we were women officers. Nobody else recognized us.
Seriously.
So, अच्छा आ गई. Okay, इनको कोने में खड़ा कर दो जब कोई VIPs आएंगे. We were treated as ornamental values.
Hello and welcome to Three at the Table. On this episode, we are joined by an inspirational personality who has excelled across fields that many only dream of entering. Neelu Khatri's journey is one of resilience, determination, and breaking boundaries. From serving as a wing commander in the Indian Air Force, one of the first women inducted from the initial batch of women officers in 1993, to leading key strategic roles in top organizations like KPMG and Honeywell, she has made an indelible mark on both defense and corporate leadership. Now, as the co-founder and senior vice president of international operations at Akasa Air, Neelu has embraced a new mission to redefine the aviation experience. She played a pivotal role in setting up India's newest airline, guided by a vision of creating a people-first, inclusive and sustainable organization. Her conviction extends beyond business goals with a commitment to achieving a 50% women workforce and ensuring opportunities for all. Neelu is not just a leader, but a strong advocate for gender diversity, inspiring countless women to break barriers in male-dominated industries. Neelu, welcome to Three at the Table. This, I think, is promising to be the most funnest and the most outrageously good episode that we've had so far, if I may, get ahead of myself. But Neelu, before I even come to you, I wanted to take a moment to really run through your bio.
Don't.
No, because
I'm embarrassed.
No,
I'll mislead a lot of
Are you kidding me? In 1993, you joined the Indian Air Force as wing commander. Then you moved to KPMG as director in civil aviation and aerospace. Then you joined Honeywell as senior director in strat and marketing. From where you then became president of Honeywell Aerospace India. Then you had a small business stint of your own, and now you are co-founder and senior vice president international at Akasa Air. Pardon my French, but what the hell is this? I mean, damn. So I had to take this moment and just run people through this because this is incredible. It is diverse. It is a dream. Like, I'm jealous of this. But before I even pass it on to you, I want to tell you that the 1993, that advert that came in the Times of India front page, that asked women to join.
Do you have it in you?
Do you have it in you? I had read this.
Oh, you did?
I had read it as I was 15 at that point, and I had read it. And I remember looking at it every day, hiding that paper for days and not even saying anything to my mom because I thought I won't get permission. Okay. So when I read this, I was like, okay, somebody didn't think that and went out to be who she is. And it's glorious. So firstly, welcome. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now I will want to ask you the first question. Just back to the start in 1993 when you read that. You're from Jalandhar.
Jabalpur.
Oh, from Jabalpur. You're from Jabalpur.
But my roots are from Jalandhar.
From Jalandhar. So tell me what was happening at that point and what did that advert really do for you?
So I think the advert came as a rescue to me, to a 20-something girl living in a city which is surrounded by mountains, hills, and internally I felt claustrophobic too in that town because there was nothing much you could do there. And I remember my mother was, we came from a low middle class family. हम एक इलाहाबाद बैंक होता था हमारे घर के पास और मेरे पास एक TVS 50 होती थी.
Yeah.
So used to go there. My mother used to go every month. We never had money, but we still went to bank every month very religiously. हम पता नहीं क्यों जाते थे. वो that book को update करने के लिए whatever.
Yeah.
So and my mother had put a dream of hers in my head कि Neelu should become a teller in that bank. That was the biggest dream I had. And मुझे मैथ नहीं आता था, उस समय भी नहीं आता था, अभी भी ज़्यादा नहीं आता है. So for me it was a big Herculean task. So but then those little town, you have this bit of a limited vision. I think that thing about not listening to anybody around me is a quality that I have right from my childhood. People around me keep talking. I hear, I don't listen, I don't register. So I think that is something that has helped me in a very big way. So a lot of people would say, "Ye tumse nahi ho payega." I was 49 when I went to give this physical interviews to the Forge. And not one person in my life said, "Jao beta, success ho kar aao." Not one person. Everybody said, "Hoga to nahi, karke aa jao."
Like it's an adventure.
हाँ ठीक है, you are allowed to go and give this exam, फिर वापस आओगे तो उससे शादी करवा देंगे and all that. So that was the plan. So for me it was this or that. And that was very gory. So I think that was one of the
incentive.
So I had a very huge incentive to go and goddamn clear it any which way. So I applied for it. The first entrance is always the math and a lot of IQ and whatever statistical questions. I studied for that. So 4 months, 5 months, I did study with every ounce of energy that I had. I became intelligent and and I cleared that exam. And then after that, I knew I would make it later. So, that inborn belief that this is not the life I lead was in me right from the beginning. I knew what I did not want. I did not know what I wanted to do. मैं क्या करूँगी? मेरे पास ना degree थी. I was a home science student. I didn't know how to make food. I didn't know how to do सिलाई कढ़ाई. But I was pushed into that home science direction because उस ज़माने में commerce भी नहीं होता था.
Yes, I know the home science days.
हाँ, तो commerce नहीं था तो home science में डाल दो जी. वो ठप्पा लग जाता है यहाँ पर कि तो failure है.
अच्छी बच्चियाँ home science करती थी.
नहीं failure भी होती थी ना.
हाँ.
So from in our group used to कुछ नहीं आता है इनको तो कड़ी बनाओ जाके घर पे. हाँ. So but the good part was that internal voice, this is not what I want to do, was very, very strong. I remember even as
but the resistance is also very strong, right? I mean, you were the first batch, I think, and in an environment where nobody's seen women ever, being the first batch and then sustaining and also growing in that role for over 15 years.
So the most hilarious thing there was that we were the first batch. Only we knew we were women officers. Nobody else recognized us.
Seriously.
So, अच्छा आ गई. Okay, इनको कोने में खड़ा कर दो जब कोई VIPs आएंगे. We were treated as ornamental values. So there's a story behind that. So मैं 4-5 महीना हो गया. I'm a commissioned officer, cap and I was a biker. So I used to go into the office in a motorcycle with a briefcase and this and that. पहुंच के, And 6 महीना हो गया. 6 months, 7 months. I was never given any important or a serious position or a designation. I'm just floating around doing nothing, just and I was not even a lipstick person ki lipstick laga ke saj ke raho. I'm not even that kind of a person. So one day Forge mein kya hota hai, we have this process wherein if a very senior the flag commander car is going, you have to just come on the side, like how they do it in the US when you have this ambulance going, everybody comes on the side. That's what happens. So in my head, I knew that I needed his attention, the senior most person. So I took the bike and I crossed him. I knew I would be caught.
No.
So I take the bike and I zoom on it on a cant road to the office and I just overtake him. And sure enough, I'm called. And my boss is called along because I can't go alone. So I'm being escorted by one of my senior most boss. So to his office. And he's telling me, don't worry, गलती हो गई ना, नई लड़की है, पता नहीं है बेचारी को. So मैं कुछ नहीं बोली. And then अंदर गए, we're sitting and this guy was a stringent this is Pune. So he's like, sir, गलती हो गई ना, she's just a 3-4 month old commissioned, she doesn't know. So then I said, नहीं sir, गलती नहीं हुई. I did it to get your attention. I came from my house. I took the 1-year training. I think I'm a trained soldier. I haven't been given any responsible job. This is not what I signed up for. So, and then my boss evaporated there. He didn't know what to do. So he gave me the nastiest job of loading and offloading the trains at Kalyan Thana station, railway station. You used to get these supplies, army or air force supplies, and go jaake karo ji, ab kaam karo.
You asked for it.
You asked for it. And I set up a process for that. So in 6 to 7 months time, people were doing it as if they were doing picnic. Before that, people were never wanting to come in, and we used to pay demurrage charges. Because if you don't offload it in a certain time, you were, So I just started creating methods in which, don't come in the morning, in the afternoon. If the train is not come, why are you coming at 9 a.m.? You come at 6 p.m. when the train is there. So I created things. I think, as I said, mera wo antenna to hear ki ye nahi ho sakta is off.
Yeah.
And that's been my blessing.
No, that's outstanding. And with when I was reading about you, I thought I'm not going to talk about institutions and what they can do with you, but talk about the individual in institutions. The so-called अभी आज के ज़माने में इनको diversity candidate बोलते हैं. When you were talking about it was sounding like that, right? The only woman on the table, the only woman in some teams, because it looks bad to have only men now, which is a problem for both men and women, honestly. Now men don't know what to do with the woman doesn't know what to do with herself. And so here it's great to see you focus on what you were doing, and I'd love to just pull this through your time there. Of course, you clearly earned your respect by asking for what you wanted. But then when you moved out of it, you went to something radically different, which is a consultant firm, like to KPMG. How did that happen?
So this is 2008, and since I was from the first batch of officers, the government did not have the, I would say, clarified or defined regulations to for permanent commission. Nothing was there. So you were left high and dry at the pine. After 16 years of life, you're still in your 30s, and you don't know what to do. That organization is not allowing you to go further, and you are out and you have zero experience of the corporate world. So I started by doing a couple of MBAs. But more than the educational degrees, I focused a lot on meeting people who were successful defense people. People like, Captain KP Singh, the DLF guy. Then I forget the Deccan CEO, Captain Gopinath. There were a couple of people under him who were my batchmates. Reshma was another person in those days in Deccan. And I started calling these people to say, what does it take? And the perspective that I got was not something that any MBA could have taught me. Right? So I started preparing myself for it. I was lucky in the time of downturn when Lehman Brothers was, dying and killing and subprime crisis.
Yeah.
I had 3 to 4 jobs in my hand. And my friend, Reshma from Deccan, she said, close your eyes, just go to KPMG. And that was by far the best advice of my life. So, the amount of learnings that I had in that 5 years of KPMG, of the business and P&L and strategies, I think it was humongous. So, of course, when I went, I felt like a fool, ki kuch bhi nahi aata. But then, have the humbleness to say that nahi aata. Don't hide behind a this thing that I am sitting on the chair when you are not feeling confident sitting on the chair and saying, I know everything.
So I always shame and acknowledgement.
I always started with saying nahi aata. And if it means going to, a person who's, those days we used to have a guy at the printer. I didn't know how to operate a printer. So I started from there. कि यार ये laptop से print में कैसे, हमारे time पे तो, 4 अर्दली खड़े होते थे. हम तो चाय का कप ऐसे खुद नहीं कर सकते थे. It was like किसी और का job निकाल रहे हो. So from that, the mind shift karna and then coming into a new world, learning things, I think was again something that I knew I had to do it if I want to survive in this world.
But you also picked up the phone and basically you seeked advice from
a lot of it.
A lot of it. And what was some of the things you heard that you were surprised by?
So one of the things first I heard was कि ये फौजी तो corporate में सफल नहीं हो सकते.
क्यों? Aren't they disciplined and
हाँ मतलब वो सुनते नहीं हैं and all that and I don't know what to that. There is this brand image. Again, as I said ना मेरा तो वो receiving antenna ही बंद है. So I keep listening and never register. So but I had a lot of people telling me this. But I think down the line, 1 or 2 years, the senior leadership saw what I was and they started believing in me. So I was allowed to. So I created the Aerospace and Defense Advisory in KPMG when I had no corporate experience, by the way. We were the first people to create. And those days, Richard Recchi was the CEO of KPMG. He went all out to support me. Like, kya karna hai batao? And he would facilitate, he would support the organization to say, okay, this is what she's doing, go support her. So at the end of the day, I think you can never be melodramatic about your life. You'll always have naysayers, but I can't say that I did not have yes-sayers.
Yeah.
It's always in a similar, equation. But our mind tends to talk more about naysayers than the yes-sayers.
And to settle with the naysayers, right? I mean, thoda comforting bhi ho jata hai.
So just switch off that switch in your mind. To just keep focusing on that, कि इसने बोला नहीं होगा, मैं नहीं कर सकता या नहीं कर सकती. So therefore, let's not go there. So...
But then when you, again, from KPMG, you did move to Honeywell. And I go through these phases because they're so radically different. Another big difference. Either you came for strat and marketing, which is, again, a third thing that was a googly for me. Okay, where did this come from? I can understand strat, but I couldn't understand marketing at all.
So that marketing streak is strong in me right from the beginning. I had that. As a child, I know I'm an outgoing person. I can go convince people. Ganja, kangi, tel, those kind of things. So I had that passion. So if I believe in something, and it brings me to another topic, especially for women. I think हम लोग ना we have a knack of looking out for a outside affirmation or of our who we are or our strength.
Yes,
so I did not have it. I did not ever go to people to say how good I am or a bad I am. Nobody told me. Everybody told me how bad I am. I never went to people. I never gave them a chance to say, tell me what is good about me. So that internal identification of a leadership quality in yourself is something I had right from the beginning. When people said, "Arey, isse kaun shaadi karega? Arey, she's 49 kg. Arey, she's dark and not even a pretty girl and this and that." So I think वो चल रहा था. It was all internally. मुझे ये पता था that I am away. Apart from all these people, there is something, I don't know what is it, but there is something that I want to do in life. So that part was very, very confident.
But it's not that easy also, right? इसलिए भी I'm delving into it because a lot of women listen to this part. A lot of young people also listen, and I have heard a lot of them say at different times that unhone kiya because she was so brave. Inhone kiya, bravery, it looks like brave people never get scared, which according to me is the biggest misunderstanding. But in your journey, there might be so many times where andar to, there is a sinking feeling, but you show up. How was that for you? Or was it just simple?
You're so right. It's really, she's successful, and how many percentage of these people are there? 1 to 5%, whatever, right? So वो एक generalize करके एक category में डालना, I feel it is very, I feel sad about it because I have been a most ordinary person. I think the only thing I kept on doing is, एक दिन ठीक नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं. Today I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like doing anything. I feel like a failure. But then tomorrow is another day. Go sit out in the sun, get some vitamin D, get some energy, go again. Keep going again. I think nobody, not even the best of the marathon runners or this and that, you will never say that, okay, this guy studied or worked for 6 months and ho gaya. 6 months ka story aapko kahin kisi success ke piche nahi milega. You have to be at it. The mantra is always, don't give up. These are all age-old mantras and they're true. So it's nothing. I have never done anything extraordinary in my life, by the way. I've never done anything like that. I just kept on showing. I kept on at it. And I think the ek cheez maine jo hamesha, I'm a single mother. I have 2 kids, right? But the one thing that I learned is have a calculation on a back of the envelope कि घर में खाना बनेगा, गैस जलेगी और छत होगी क्या? If the answer was yes, I went for it. So when I was wanting to leave KPMG, my future was good there. I was doing well.
Yeah.
I was on my next step and stuff. But then I started seeing myself, is this something that I'm enjoying? You know, the documentation strategy bana ke main aapko de rahi hu, and I know the company may or may not implement it.
Yeah.
So all that head that I'm using it for, it will not, you know, it maybe for their boards just to say yes or no. So I never saw anything concrete coming out of it. And I'm a doer.
Yeah.
I wanted to go and implement strategies rather than creating. So that was the time. So I said, nee, I need to. And plus, you can't advise people when you don't know what they do. So for me, I wanted to see how companies were run. Yeah. So I had to get into a company. Yeah. And I was fortunate to, you know, get selected there and then get a chance within the company to say, okay, now I want to, you know, run a P&L.
Yeah. When we were speaking earlier, you had shared a very, very, important anecdote. And I'd love for you to share it at this point, because this speaks very truly to what you just said.
So there's a little story which is very favorite of mine. And I always, you know, think of that story when I'm in a corner. I mean, I have many anecdotes, but this one is a good one. So there's a little pond and it's full of many frogs, you know, like thousands of frogs. It's like a adda or their residence, whatever. And in the pond, there's a huge pole. And one day the frogs say, okay, it's festive season, you know, let's do a dhol, baja, nagara and, you know, holi, whatever. And let's do a race as to who can go on the top of that pole. So now all these frogs are all, you know, oiled up and jammed up and says, okay, hum chadenge. So they start. And there's this little frog who's born deaf. So everybody knows he can't. He's chota, he does not have the length of his hand or, you know, whatever, legs, strength or whatever. So everybody knows, but, you know, he's participating. So now the environment is so, you know, full of energy and encouraging with a lot of things going on, people shouting, cheering. So this guy keeps going. The people go, come back, come down, fisal jate and all. So he keeps going. And then at some point of time, the whole crowd saying, upar mat ja, you know, aur upar mat ja, gir jayega. And this guy is thinking, they're saying, jao. Because he's deaf, he can't listen. So he keeps on going and he climbs. And that's actually true of each one of us. You know, get to that, you know, aspirational mindset, get to that internalization of identification of your own leadership quality, which is missing in us. Especially women. You know, women always look for, you know, somebody else to be saying कि हाँ बहुत अच्छा काम किया. अरे मुझे पता है यार मैंने अच्छा काम किया. Have that confidence. मुझे पता है अच्छा काम किया है. Tell me what more can I do? Or this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So you have to identify yourself as a leader internally, and more important than that, work on something you believe in. Half your confidence actually goes away because you don't believe in what you're doing. Therefore, you're looking for outer instructions.
Yeah. Koi bol de to main kar.
Haan.
There's so much to unpack in that. But, you know, I'm going to take some more time here at this, in this moment. While you know, the bio that I read is all the headlines are outstanding. We're talking about someone who didn't have an encouraging environment.
Yeah.
Right? Who had, in fact, it was the opposite. There were limits and boundaries, and there was nobody who really was there to pump up. Then it becomes overwhelming for lots of people. That somehow, because nobody believes, we start listening to the no's.
Yeah.
We start listening to people who are telling us actively कि नहीं हो सकता है, मत करो. In fact, in careers of women, a lot of times we've observed that they think that just showing up to work is a big battle. So promotion के लिए क्या जरूरत है, better job के लिए क्या जरूरत है,
stay away from,
and the battle also tires them, right?
Yes.
It's also fatigue that is genuine.
True.
No, that like it's a non-stop. You're battling family, colleagues, systems. So how does one survive that on a long-term basis? We're talking about like from the day you joined the Air Force, it's 30 years, more than 30 years now.
Yeah.
So you've been at it.
31. Yeah.
How does one sustain that energy?
It's a serious question. That's a very serious question. Yeah. And again, you know, a big part of it needs to be self-motivated. and where you identify yourself. And a larger part of that is the organizational environment. And which is where, I'm very glad that I'm living in a stage in life wherein people have started talking about it. Imagine 15 years back, nobody talked about it. Today they say, okay, if there are no women in the room, the company is, there's something wrong with the company, right?
Yes.
So the fundamental belief there is that many times you can't avoid politics, you can't avoid unfair things to happen, right? I think in my life we do not glorify failures. Failure doesn't mean that it's khatam ho gaya bas. The moment you have that mindset, I was gunning for this position and I didn't get it, oh, my life is over. And we tend to do it a little more. As women, I think we are a creed. Our DNA has that. We tend to take it a little more harshly, right?
Yeah.
So look at the best of the stories. And one of the things that I do is I read a lot of biographies, lots and lots of them. The regular, not so global leaders at probably, in businesses, read their stories. Even something like the Neiman shoes. Then I have a friend who created this brand, Minu Margaret. She created a sports brand. Just read up those stories. Nothing will come up in one or two. There are people who've created banks. There are people who do so many things.
Yeah.
So we in our life think that, I went, that I is so strong and I did not make it to the manager or a senior manager, whatever. And then it just takes over so much that it saps your energy and pulls you down.
Yes.
So do I now apply for the next one?
Maybe you're not good enough at all.
Maybe there was something, you don't know what the larger picture is. We all have heard about this bell curve and all, right? In the office.
Yeah.
Blame it on the bell curve. So many things which is happening beyond your, performance. There's so many things which is happening beyond your manager's performance or his power to support you. Let it be, man. Give it 3, 4, whatever. Keep taking the failures. I mean, I love the fact that many people say that, I'm a failed entrepreneur. And they actually put it on the LinkedIn. It's a thing to be celebrated.
Yeah.
A failed entrepreneur is a better worker than somebody
who tried.
Yeah, somebody who never tried. So fine, so be it. नहीं हुए तो नहीं हुए यार, क्या हुआ? But that वो नहीं है that typical thing of लड़के से पूछो कितने नंबर आए, वो डांस करता हुआ आएगा 60 नंबर आ गए हमारे. लड़की से पूछो कितने आए, रोते हुए बोलेगी 91.2. True. So get off that mindset. Of course, enjoy your success, aim for success. Couple of failures should not put you down.
Yeah. Or feeling that you're not enough.
Yeah, should not. Don't let anybody else tell you.
So what you did in Honeywell to get to the position you really wanted, I would love to hear more. I mean, I would love everyone to hear that from you.
So I've never had a P&L experience, so to say, right? So when I went into Honeywell to look for a position that is a P&L position was something that literally everybody, my immediate boss, the person, whoever were around me. And I was doing well as the head of strategy. So they thought that she'll go, she'll not get selected. And then once you don't get selected, you get dejected. And then you say, oh, this place is not for me, right? So people have actually told me, don't go and apply. Fail ho jaogi, fir bhag jaogi. So they were so sure of my failure. So then the one thing that I always do is I've had couple of and that's very important for women to do. Have some mentors which are not the traditional mentors as we are taught today. I don't believe in this leadership and trainings and mentoring. I mean, I can go to somebody for mentoring. That person will have a good heart and they'll tell me all the mathematical formula.
Yeah.
Don't follow that to the T. I'm not saying don't follow it completely. I mean, there are some very good things you learn. Do that.
Yeah.
But that's not your 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to this formula.
Yeah.
Life, it doesn't work like that. So I've always had few, because you need some people who are your blind follower.
Your cheerleaders.
Your cheerleader, your adopters. So I've had that. I've had some women, some को कुछ नहीं तो वो कुछ वो एज ओल्ड नेबर जो बगल में रहते थे, हम उनके घर ट्यूशन पढ़ने जाते थे. Up now for that person who was like a clerk in certain thing, and I've made it very big. Yeah. So he sees me from a very different light. Neelu cannot go wrong. How can she? So then so I will call those kind of people to get my energy. And they see me in a different. Sometimes the best pearls of wisdom came from there. He's like, ऐसा क्या है उस position में जो तुम नहीं कर सकते? And why are they saying no? First understand why are they saying no. So then I said, okay, I've never done profit and loss नहीं किया, मैंने इतनी बड़ी team नहीं संभाली, 100 people, 6,000 engineers. I'm not even an engineer, by the way. And I was leading a Honeywell engineering. That was the biggest joke. मैं कहीं भी जाती थी meeting में, मैं सबसे पहले बोलती थी मैं engineer नहीं हूँ. It stuck with me. Then somebody like, ठीक है यार, अगर तुम engineer नहीं हो, then you have 7,000 engineers and then company will support you.
Yeah.
Right? And you understand clients better.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm very strong at. I know when I'm sitting in front of a client, I know what their needs are. So I knew certain good points. And then he said, अरे आप तो कर लोगे. You need that kind of deaf, commitment to yourself, like that deaf frog.
Yeah.
I can do it. Everybody's cheerleading me. So go for it. And again, do the backward calculation of,
चूल्हा जलेगा क्या?
At the end of it. And then दूसरा ना मैं, sorry, I'm apologizing if I'm saying this before that. But not every male leaders are really highly intelligent people or very smart people. I'm just calling it out. Yeah. So don't think that everybody sitting above you are, somebody who's like, they have their own flaws. But we just get so mesmerized by somebody who's sitting up and we just put down ourselves so much. No. There are people who have been lucky, there are people who have their connections. There are people who worked very, very hard to go there and they're sitting. Yeah. But do they have 100% of the, success?
Of what it needs?
It needs? No. All of us don't, right?
None of us do.
So then why do we put ourselves down so much कि यार मैं नहीं कर सकती?
Yeah.
मैंने बहुत गधे देखे हैं leadership positions में. I've seen so many of them. And I'm like, yaar, if he can do it, fine.
I can.
Now I'm not going to give it up. I'm going to give it up. I'm going to give it a try. Fail हो जाऊंगी कोई बात नहीं, but I'll give it a try.
Is that how you fought for the Honeywell position?
I fought for many positions like this.
Like that.
Many positions like that. In my mind, I'm always thinking like that. I'm always trying to find in the room कि अच्छा, okay, fine. Now my confidence level is high.
But it's such a priceless thing to have, that kind of surety about yourself also. We're just not blind, which knows that I'm on thin ground here, but I can make up for it by my by the other things that I have.
One more thing that I think I glorify in life is consistency and hard work. You cannot replace you cannot get a faff empty person to be going up.
Yeah.
You have to have that basic metal on getting things done, doing stuff. So hard work cannot be replaced. You have to put in that hours and hours and hours. The success may come today, tomorrow, day after, whatever. But it's very important to be steadfast and continue performance. You can't, a lot of people have performance spikes, That's not good for career.
Yeah.
You don't, when you are in a high, okay, I'm going to do my best. And then ye position nahi nikli, to fir fisal gaye. I mean, that is not something that works. Because the steadiness, that steadfastness on performance is something you have to, if nothing else, I mean, this is what you would do when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Right? So think of yourself as, when nobody's watching, what do I do on a traffic signal? If you are actually that kind of a consistent person with a lot of hard work, everybody can be in there, the success world, go and break it. There's no other mantra on this.
Beautiful. Today you are co-founder of Akasa Air. It is the youngest airline we have right now. There's a lot of building to do there. How is this different from all your previous stints?
This is magic. I'm so lucky that I got a chance to be sitting out with 5 or 7 people who created this, and to be backed by Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who was another legend.
Yeah.
and him believing in the fact that these people who have never been co-founders or never created an airline, but everybody is a professional, 20, 30 years of experience. So just to be in that little group and doing stuff and starting by putting the first brick and the second brick and the third brick, and then creating a culture from a whiteboard wherein we are not, trying to undo something and do something is a very difficult job. Right?
Yeah.
So be in a company and try to change a company's entire maneuvering and going into another direction is a difficult one.
Yeah.
But this one was wherein we actually created it from scratch.
Yeah.
And, we have Vinay, who's our CEO. He's an ex-Delta person. We have Praveen, who's our chief commercial. We have Belson. All these people are legends. So when you pick up such bright people and, create a bouquet, it has to be a very beautiful one. So come in, start up with, I remember those early discussions on how do we want our cabin crew to be. So one of the things that came up was we want a gender neutral environment. We don't want it to be a cabin crew hai, must be the most beautiful girl, like this kind of clothes and that. We just undid all of that. We came up with a beautiful clothes, bright orange color, comfortable pajama with shoes.
I noticed that when I flew Akasa.
It just gives so much of satisfaction.
Yes, glad you're saying this because when I flew Akasa, that's the one thing that
everybody knows.
That it stands out just for its simplicity.
Yeah,
instead I wouldn't. It's unfair to say everything else is provocative.
Yeah,
but it's simple.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable
because think of yourself if you were in a 2-inch or a 3-inch heel and trying to lift up trays and serving
2-hour flights, 5-hour flights.
And no, but they work for longer hours. They don't work for one flight, right?
Yes,
they work for multiple flights a day.
Yes.
And it's exhausting to be good to everybody when you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
So we understood that. Then the other mind thing was that, they have economy sitting. So the food has to be pathetic. No, we said, no, we will give you the best of the food. Pay for it, take it. We came up with duck salad. We came up with Christmas meals. We've got about 45 to 50 menu items that you can order from. The third thing was, gone are the days when people are saying, maida khana hai, chini khana. No, we'll give you what you want to eat. So we came up with some healthy options and getting a very good response. Yeah. And the biggest thing that we introduced was, and this is what I feel extremely proud and happy about, was empathy. That just because I have bought the ticket at the cheapest price or whatever, doesn't mean that I need to be respected. So every client needs to be respected. So the core value that we teach for our training for the crew or cabin crew or the airport crew is that, think of it as your own sister, or as a mother, or a wife, or a child, or brother, or somebody who's coming in a wheelchair. Empathy is one of the most important things. And all of this will come once the company is taking care of people, our own employees.
Yes.
The unhappy person will never be able to
make other people
happy.
Yeah.
So, there is this, the first thing starts up with an employee-centric organization. So these are some of the things that, extremely happy that we could inculcate it right
you're
from
building
scratch.
It from there. Let's elaborate a little more on that. Now you are a leader. You've seen many kinds of things on your way up. You clearly, inherently, your personality is positive and draws energy to do something rather than dwell on something. When someone like you becomes a leader, co-leading with other phenomenal people, institutionally, how do you put values in the workforce? And you spoke a little bit about the air hostess and the stewards, but in the institution, what are some of the things that we have to be very mindful of as leaders? Because culture is easier said than done. To ensure that it trickles down, what must one do, and what have you been able to do?
So I think any organization to be, a well-oiled machinery, one of the most important thing is it needs processes. The second thing is processes needs to be transparent, right? People should know why what is happening. So those are some of the things that first, bring in a good world-class processes. Let people know that this is how everybody is supposed to work. So there is a discipline in working. There is a methodology in working. There is no I factor there that happens. So I think those things, so once you've created all of that, And then, of course, a lot of time you have to, in a smaller company, growing up, we've grown in such a feverish manner,
Yeah.
The first year to come up with, the second year we started flying international. We are the first company in the world who would have probably, been grown in that fever. And I mean, it's, to me, it doesn't look like a rocket science. It's a process that got created, and then replicating the processes to grow is very easy because everybody then knows what needs to be done. A, B. It's
but
exactly
you've
like
also
how
been intentional, right?
Correct.
You've also been extremely intentional that this is the
we
way
knew
it should
what
be.
we were doing.
Yes. Now, see, it seems like you have very good colleagues, but as one thing that we would love to know is, when you get right at the top, and you are at the top of the game right now, does it get easier from the outside? Like, does it, as in, people will respect you because of your designation and all of that, but the struggles of being an aspiring leader and thinking that one day I will be at the top, and one day I will show them, and one day does it actually get that simple, or does different kind of biases, do they have a way to find you?
No, first of all, leadership cannot be a hollow leadership. It can't be that you made it here and then you bask in that glory and it's all. Doesn't. You will be spitted one day, you will be clapped one day. It happens. It's so you can't just bask saying, "Acha, theek hai, I've reached a position." Fine. You have to live it up. You have to be connected with your team. You have to be working at the ground. So I think that knack of being with the team at every aspect, and they know they can call at any point of time. They know this is the support they need and it will be done. I think that is what each one of us try to do. And just continue working with everybody. So, I mean, we have by no chance reached where we want to be.
Yeah.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah, you just started.
It's just the third year in the running right now.
Yes.
So there is a very, very long way to go. So, and can't happen at the thing saying that, oh, we've arrived. No, we haven't.
I'm talking about you personally. Do you feel that it gets easier as we rise up in power?
Not really. Not really. Again, this is an age of, all the social medias, which your attention span is like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to keep at it. You have to keep in touch with every stakeholders, every performer. You have to come up with plans for mid-level people, for junior level people, have to show. And people are not working. Gone are the days when people said, "Acha, naukri mil gayi, kaam mil gaya, chal, ho gaya." The new generation is very, restless. Their mindset is on, work satisfaction. How am I being treated? Am I being treated well? The environment, am I doing something constructive? So some of those things you can't take your eyes off and think that you are a leader and it's done. You have to work at it continuously.
Yeah. And if I may, but you also are the mother of boys. I'm the mother of boys. I want to ask you about raising boys also.
बहुत खून चूसते हैं. It's not easy. And you think कि बच्चे बड़े होके ठीक हो जाते हैं, कुछ नहीं हुआ नहीं. Instead of giving bottles, you have to do something different.
How do they respond to your kind of, I mean, I can only imagine what kind of a mother you are, because it is different. It is different from the large set of socially, the way the raising up has happened, that most moms are a certain kind. Most you are a very highly inspirational figure for boys to understand your motivations, to understand the person, to also imbibe the values. How conscious and how unconscious is that?
So first of all, you can't carry your outside achievements inside the house. Bahar rakh ke aao, gate ke andar se. Second thing is, I'm very fortunate to have a lot of, good family members, and, even my staff who've been with me. So my staff has not changed for the last 15, 16 years.
Wow.
And that's something I'm very proud of.
Like family.
Because uski wajah se to I could do what I wanted, my boys are a blind, supporter for me. So I think it is very important to have that kind of backing and setup. I mean, I always tell this to young girls: do not, cut that 300 or a 3,000 rupees on your didi or bhaiya who are working, they are, they cut down on one meal less, two drinks less, get that money and give it to people who will really support you, because in your success lies their success too. Right? And it's so wonderful to be living in a country where we are so fortunate that we can
There's
have
a care economy.
The entire care economy, right? Use that to the maximum. Initially it'll hurt you. Oh, I can't afford a driver. Oh, I can't afford. No, you can.
You can.
Forget your saving in the beginning.
Yeah.
Forget your whatever other pleasures you do, one holiday less or something. Invest there. Because that's what will support you, your husband, your mother-in-law, everything else, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
So get an easy life. I think hum log na, there are many times you try to be so overburdening yourself. And it's okay if your kid has not got 90%. Let me tell you, mat ro, wo tumhara report card nahi hai. Hamara Indian women mothers are like just so stuck on mere bacche ke 90 aaye, so I am a failure. Forget it. वो 60 में भी उतना ही बनेगा जहाँ उसको जाना होगा, 90 में भी उतना ही करेगा. Stop killing yourself on over performance and creating Supermans and Spidermans in your house. Don't do that. It will only bring misery to you. Just make good human beings in the house. Get them good values. Get them to be normal human beings. That's more important. वो success आ जाएगा उसमें. बाद में आ जाएगा. You have enough things, and these days you don't have. In our times it was doctor, engineer, whatever.
Oh God, just 3 of them.
There are like 30,000 options. People make money by YouTube. They do so many things. So just have a good balanced family environment, whether you're married or unmarried, whatever, doesn't matter. Just focus on positivity.
you have imbibed it at every step. Yes, you've walked the talk. So
my धोबी वाला knew that madam का call ये वाला चलता है 7 से 8 के बीच में शाम को, तो he would never come to give कपड़ा at that time 7 to 8 में. वो नहीं आता था, उसको पता था वो मैडम बेल नहीं बजाना है. My cat knew when to mew. He was taken away and he would just quietly come and sit. उसको आंख दिखा दो तो बैठ जाएगा. So your entire environment, कहते हैं ना, कायनात को ट्रेन करो वो आपको सपोर्ट करे, and then you'll do wonders.
So we are also told as girls that time is running out. Time is running out. You have to be a mother. Time is running out. Your career will end. You're too old to do XY number of things still. And sometimes it feels like you're peaking when menopause also strikes with your child's 10th grade.
Double whammy.
In fact, a very interesting thing that we found out during our research is that in India, it's the only country where there is a third level. So women drop off when they get married. Then they drop off, when when they get pregnant. But in India, there's a third when they drop off when children are in 10th.
अच्छा, हाँ, yes,
तो ये इंडिया की रियलिटी है. और उसके बाद भी होता है कि once at that level women drop off, there's no coming back, or they've severely compromised on the reputation and the power they have. But what happens after 40 or 50?
So that's a very real pressure that women live up with, no matter how supportive your family is. One, of course, you do have very serious responsibilities. The second is that in the responsibility you trying to excel. बगल वाली के बच्चे के 10 इतने आए हैं तो मेरे बच्चे के नहीं आए. Those things are very real pressures in life. But I can only say that things only get better for women, because 30s में क्या होता है, you're getting married, you're having kids and whatever, at least with the social pressure. If you're following the social pressure, I have many friends who don't. So it's up to you. Go adopt a kid, man. Go for IVF or something. क्यों किसी की सुनना है? क्यों एक set of norms लेके बैठो? Get your, first of all,
become the frog.
Be like a deaf frog. Be the deaf frog. That is the mantra of the day.
Yes.
But in my personal life, I think I'm the happiest at this stage. Your kids are gone, पढ़ाई शढ़ाई हो गई है, they're off your payslip.
So now you don't have to think घर में चूल्हा चलेगा नहीं.
मुझे नहीं खाना, मैं एक avocado खा के सो जाऊंगी. So for women, I think you have to look at life in a way that in the 30s and 40s, it is a real grind. So invest into your, people around you. Like मेरा बच्चा 10th में आया, मैंने बताया ना, मुझे ज़्यादा डांट पिटती थी उसकी मैम से. I felt like a failure कि मैं फेल हो रही हूँ क्लास 8 में या 9 में. No, forget it, दो tuition और लगा दो, keep counseling, understand what kids are saying, all of that happen. So वो phase बहुत difficult था मेरे लिए, मुझे पता है. I mean, when I was in Honeywell, working with the China team early morning, working in the afternoons on the European team, and that night with this, I was going crazy, right? But then you realize that all of those things just start disappearing in some time.
Yeah.
Your responsibilities are getting lesser and lesser, and you are being, in fact, I mean, I get gifts now from my boys. I get gifts which I would never have bought on my own, right?
Thank
So that phase of liberty and the new 50s, you're not going to get old in the 50s. Let me tell you. I go trekking. I went to Machu Picchu. I'm planning to go to Kilimanjaro next year. I go sightseeing. Drop of the hat. I'll just go into another country. Jahan dekha ticket sasti hai, bhag lo, घूम के आ जाओ.
Hey, Neelu, how much inspiration one podcast? Yeah.
But you have to do these things, right? You have to live what you want to be.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, professional life is this much part of your life.
Yeah.
Right? When you retire, I've read a book, I forget the name. It talked about, interviews with 100 odd people who were on their deathbeds. Not one person talked about their professional life in their 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
People talked about, मैंने इसको sorry नहीं बोला. I did not end up with that person. Why did I end up with this? Or why did I do that?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, money is an enabler. Profession is a part of your life. We just tend to build too much around that.
Yeah.
So, decrease your weight of thoughts into these.
And stick around in those hard moments because the moments will pass.
Stay.
Because that don't drop off.
Correct.
Oh, important message. Thank you. Nobody has talked about this. This is like the brass tacks, the nuts and bolts. And we don't talk about it enough. But because one, there is a lot of guilt in not doing some of the things that we think we must.
वही तो बोल रही ना, हम लोग
खाना गरम हमने ही करना है.
किसको इम्प्रेस करने जा रहे हो? अपने आप को इम्प्रेस करो बस. There's nobody else. बाहर किसी को नहीं इम्प्रेस करना है. Not even to your wife, husband, children. No. Just get your, because if you are a happy and a contented person, your performance is so much better. Right? Otherwise वो हो जाता है ना, you always feel like a Spider-Man एक movie में था dialogue. That Domino's pizza वो 31st minute में आएगा. दिया, पर उसके पैसे देने पड़े. वो काम किया, खूब किया, दौड़ कूद के आया लेकर, but then you're always like a Domino's pizza which is 2 minutes late.
2 minutes late.
Be 15 minutes early. आराम से करो.
Good. The another thing that if you today had to give a message to those young people, not just women, but young women as well as men who are entering workforce, who again are entering a different world where economies are different, the conflicts in the world are different, social media has a big. What are 2 or 3 of the things you think people have to be very mindful of as they begin their journeys and careers?
So I think to the younger kids, I would always say they come up with a very restless mindset. They come up with a, this much of a time frame. I have to do this. Too planned, too methodical, right? And then life does not have a formula. Life does not have a formula. Life is not going to be tomorrow is going to be a sunny day, right? It's going to be some thunderous thing. Something will not happen as per you, and then they get rejected very fast. So, I love what Bruce Lee said. Be like water, my friend. And I absolutely want to, imbibe those kind of philosophies in life.
Yeah.
Give it your best shot. Be consistent. Be hardworking. Don't think everybody has their own journey. I remember my oldest son, when he just came out of college, he was like, oh, so-and-so was behind me. Ab to wo mere se upar nikal gaya. Arey baba, you don't know what their pain points in their life are. Nobody's life is a bed of roses, right? You only see what they show you on a Facebook or a LinkedIn or whatever.
Absolutely. And life is long and the graph is long.
The social media, has a lot of pluses, has a lot of negativities. Understand those realities of life. It's tough. But then these are the things you have to be. So life is never, roses for somebody and not for somebody. Everybody has their roses and thorns. We just want to make life so mathematical. No. And then this huge thing about, oh, this has not happened, so I'm finished now. Baba, kahin kuch finish nahi hua, kuch start nahi hua. Just be at it. This is the only thing I will say.
Yeah. No. Thank you. Thank you. No, this has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been
you.
an
I'm honored
absolute
to
honor
be
and
here.
privilege.
And guys, please fly Akasa Air.
Yes.
Come and I know we don't have all the flights at all the stations, but very soon we will have it. Enjoy our food. Enjoy our services. We're really working hard to get this brand up and running. We are so proud. We are already flying 5 international destinations, good places all in India. So please
love
support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.